In today's news, we see another female being charged in aiding in the Catherine Pickering murder case.
The first cohort of solar technicians graduate from the government's program at the H. Lavely Stoudt Community College.
We also see the deceased over the weekend now being identified as Ryan Smolderen, and also 3 charged for firearm possession. All this and so much more on today's edition of 284 News.
The wind.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really good?
Davis has won it for the Lakers.
A pleasant good evening, viewers. It is Monday, May 3rd, 2021, a fantastic day here in the beautiful Virgin Islands. And of course, we are here with your daily dose of local, regional, as well as international content here on 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. We're coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Before we get into our newscast today, we're looking at a few summary items. Of course, the ESHS shift system, that's the senior school, has been postponed suddenly and indefinitely. Premier denies role in COVID port cuts, says over 480K has been saved, believe it or not. Now, Tourist Board hires a PR firm in a bid to expand the European market, which of course is more than ever important in these very troubling times. And the cause of death of the body found floating near the VC still undetermined. Persons are still living, believe it or not, in the North Sound Community Center since the hurricanes of 2017.
Wow.
Saints Minister Carvin Malone and man allegedly found dead in bathroom at Skelton Hill. Of course, the amazing activities of the Farmers and Fishers Week 2021 that culminates with an exhibition and market day. We have all the details.
Absolutely. We also saw over the weekend, I believe Saturday, May 1st, a Colombian man was actually nabbed at the Terrence B. International Airport. Now, just based on a scan by our immigration officials, it was recognized that he was under a red notice. That is a wanted person issued by Interpol. And of course, those persons are wanted, persons wanted under that notice are essentially wanted for high profile crimes. So a big win for our immigration officials. We want to applaud them for that. And as well, a third person charged in the murder of, in the case, of course, where we saw the deceased Catherine Pickering losing her life tragically.
And beginning on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands, preliminary inquiries surrounding the body recovered from the waters near the Village Key Marina on Thursday, April 29th, suggest that the deceased is Ryan Smolderen, a 65-year-old and native of South Africa who resided on the vessel Silent Wings, docked at the marina. Positive identification is still to be made by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Smolderen was reported missing earlier in the day by a friend. Now, officers of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Marine Unit, Virgin Islands Search and Rescue Major Crime Team, and scenes, of course, from the crime attended a scene near Village Key Marina yesterday and really put into perspective what may have taken place. Investigations are still ongoing, but an unresponsive male was recovered floating in the water near the mangrove and then taken to the marina branch where he was pronounced dead. The cause of death is still to be determined, and they employ anyone with any information as it pertains to the whereabouts or what may have taken place to Mr. Smolderen. Please come forward to officials. In addition to that, 3 persons, 1 male and 2 females, were charged for keeping an unlicensed firearm after a search warrant was executed on the several units over in the West End area. That's Little Appleby to be exact, on Tortola. They uncovered a Glock pistol and several rounds of ammunition. Police have charged Delano Johnny, 25 of Kane Garden Bay, Fedis Matthias, 41, and Nicole Maximum, 38, who both reside in the home at Little Appleby. The 3 are scheduled to appear in the magistrate's court at the earliest available sitting. And Jovan, of course, the Royal Vigilance Police Force continues their plight to really take unlicensed firearms off the streets of the BVI.
Absolutely, and we applaud them for that. Now, continuing to the tune of the Royal Vigilance Police Force, now the major crime team charged an additional female over the weekend in connection to the robbery that resulted in the death of Catherine Pickering back on April 18th of 2021. Now, charged was Tiffany Smith, 18 years old, of Zion Hill for aiding offenders in the incident. Tyan Smith, 20, of Freshwater Pond, was previously charged for the same offense. The two was granted bail under their appearances before the magistrate's court on May 6th. Now, last Wednesday, Akeem Hopkinson, 22 years old, and Shamik Grant, 28, both of Zion Hill, were charged with murder, possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, and jointly charged with Shamar Richardson for robbery in the same incident. Richardson, 24 years old, of Jean Hill, was previously charged with robbery. Now, all three of them had appeared before a magistrate's court last week and were remanded to Her Majesty's prison. Ron, we continue to uncover the details of this very tragic story. Here we see another female being charged, Tiffany Smith, as well as Tyan Smith, who was initially charged, in addition to the other three young men who were being looked at for this gruesome crime. We're thankful, really grateful that the Royal Vigilance Police Force is unable to unravel this case in such a short time. And we pray that this could bring some level of release and relief to the families.
Well, Jovan, I must, in commending, as you just said, the Royal Vigilance Police Force, I think persons need to once again understand it takes a community effort as it pertains to the speaking of crimes. There are a lot of crimes that have gone unsolved in the British Virgin Islands, of course, dating back to, between October and December of last year. But it really takes a community effort, and if we are to really zero in and to really assist the Royal Vigilance Police Force in keeping our streets safe, I think as a community we have to look at a more holistic approach and really put ourselves aside and also take ourselves and put ourselves in the same position. I think a lot of persons, when they consider the circumstances, the very gruesome circumstances of this case and the unfortunate events of it, if you were to put yourself in a similar position as a mother, a business owner, as a daughter, as a friend, how would you have reacted to a scenario of such? And I think that's what we need to pay and take consideration too.
Absolutely, and so we wish the families much healing in this time, and of course, again, applaud the Royal Vigilance Police Force and members of the public who assisted in this case to ensuring a good recovery in such a short time. Now, as we move on, early this year, the Premier's office, along with the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture, as well as the BVI Electricity Corporation and the Age Lavity Stout Community College, all collaborated to develop a program to train our young people and people of the Caribbean region for new opportunities in renewable energy. Now, the program was launched at HLSCC earlier this year, but we also saw Unite BVI providing a grant of over $300,000 to HLSCC to train the first cohort of certified solar technicians, of course, to build local capacity and expertise in this area. Now, today, viewers, that first cohort graduated with flying colors, blazing the path not only for others to come, but also speaking greatly to the potential as it relates to green energy and economy here in the BVI. Present at today's ceremony was our Minister of Education and Culture, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Whitley, who said that the students ought to be very, very proud of themselves. Listening.
You have made yourselves more marketable. You've equipped yourself with skills and knowledge to be able to participate fully in this new economy which is being established here in the Virgin Islands. You have electrified your dreams. You have fueled your hopes and your aspirations, and you're powering the transformation of your people and the economy. And it would be befitting for me at this moment to thank all the persons who are responsible for this taking place. I want to give a huge thanks and appreciation to the Unite BVI Foundation. Give them a round of applause. I see Dr. Sauda Underwood Smith here, and I see Kim Takeuchi. Yes, and I don't see Lauren here, but certainly these women, along with the foundation, are transforming lives. They must feel a great sense of pride watching you, the recipients of these certificates, because when you put in the work, it's very gratifying to see the rewards, to see the fruits of the labor. I want to thank certainly the board of H. Laverty Stout Community College, the president, the faculty, the staff, for running with this vision. I want to thank, of course, the board of the Electricity Corporation and the general manager, Mr. Leroy Abrams, and the whole Electricity Corporation for the role in which they played. Certainly, we have to thank the government of the Virgin Islands and the Premier, who was intimately involved in this effort from the very beginning. He certainly will express, when he arrives, his gratitude on behalf of the government. I want to thank Power 52, Brother Rob Wallace and your entire team. Certainly, when you want to do something positive, there are some persons out in the community who want to cast a negative light on it. And Brother Rob Wallace, Unite BVI, the College Electricity Corporation, we had to overcome many obstacles, lots of negative publicity, persons who sought to actually stop what it is we're doing. When we look at what we're doing right here, could something be bad about this? So I want to thank you for your perseverance. And the main person I want to thank this morning are you, the new solar technicians. With the international certification you have received, you'll be at the forefront of many of the solar projects here in the Virgin Islands. We have a huge solar project which is going to be taking place on the island of Anegada, and I see some Anegadians here who will be a part of that project. And we have persons represented from all 9 districts, which I'm grateful for, and persons who I know and persons who I'm.
That was the Minister of Education and Culture, Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, of course, speaking so eloquently at the graduation ceremony held earlier today. A great moment for the BVI as we really forge forward into what the Premier is calling a green economy in about 20 years. And when you think about that, it really requires a full reform of the way we do things here in the BVI, the way we deal with electricity, our conservation efforts and all of that, a full 360. But the Premier and his government remains very ambitious, and here we see making the necessary investments to ensure that our young people, our professionals are equally equipped to handle the new industry.
Jovan, I do trust and believe that with the growing opportunities that will come with this solar energy product, that a lot of the young men who graduated, as well as the different cohorts, because this is just the first cohort, but they will have an opportunity to not only learn, but to really take up a rightful place in our society and be able to contribute to this very cause. I think in viewing the graduation today, they were excited, they were enthusiastic, family and friends, they were honored to see them reach this milestone. And it's taken a lot. It's taken a long, a number of months of training and really zoning in on what it is. It's a new industry for many of them, and more so for the BVI, but I'm happy to see it come to our shores, and happy to see some of our fellow young men and women too be trained.
We're involved.
Yes, definitely.
So absolutely. So congratulations to all of you, and we wish you all the best. Now, still ahead of the break, the BVI expanded into new markets with the AVIA reps, and also we see the Passport Office and Registry completing some development workshops that, of course, puts them in a better position to serve us here in the BVI community. So all that and so much more when 284 News returns.
Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News. Continuing on the local scene, Avia reps Italy, now joined by France and the Nordics to provide public relations and marketing support, of course, to the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board, following through on a mandate from Premier the Honourable Andrew A. Foy and, of course, the Board of Directors to have one agency with the optimal combination of public relations, travel, trade, connections, and expert knowledge of the markets to represent the territory of the Virgin Islands in multiple European markets. Now, the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board and the Film Commission has contracted Avia Reps agency. Avia Reps will help the destination achieve its goals of expanding into new European markets as well as consolidating its presence in established markets. One of the world's leading sales, marketing, and communications agencies for travel and lifestyle brands, Avia Reps will provide public relation and marketing representation in Italy, France, French-speaking Switzerland, and the Nordic region, Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, and of course Finland. Now, the agency's dedicated teams will implement market-specific PR and marketing strategies to support the BVI's continued safe and responsible phase reopening for leisure and business travel within this year. Using their local knowledge and expertise in public relations and marketing, the Avia Reps teams will work to bring the BVI's unique offerings to more travelers by implementing strategies focused on some of these areas, promoting the opportunities for the MICE meeting, incentive, conference, and events sector for business looking to reconnect in a safe and responsible environment, as well as tapping the demand for sailing vacations for which the territory has gained its reputation as the sailing capital of the world, as well as educating the travel trade and consumers on the BVI's robust and revitalized accommodations sector, including new and renovated resorts and villas, as well as reaffirming the territory's position as a leading destination for weddings, honeymoon, and other celebrations. In addition to executing the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission's international promotions, Find Yourself Here, that and something to celebrate, according to the BVI Director Tourist Board, Clive McCoy. He said, and I quote, "We were challenged by the Premier and our Board of Directors to find one agency to represent the destination in multiple European markets. After considering various options, we selected Avia Reps, not only because they have ably represented us in the Italian market for the past 6 years, but because of their 27 years of experience as a marketing agency and their wide network of offices throughout the European agencies and worldwide. We're impressed with the fact that they rely on a network of staff and associates that are not only expert marketers, but also have an intimate local knowledge of their respective markets." Now, this is the reason why we are excited to work with Avia reps to further penetrate the European market and, of course, to expand into the Nordic countries. Now, Thomas Dreschler, COO Tourism of Avia reps, commenting really on the contract, said, and I quote, "We're grateful that after many years of working with the BVI in Italy, they have entrusted us in even more markets. We're looking forward to helping them navigate their safe reopening in multiple European regions. We're building on great foundation we've helped establish in the Italian market." Jovan, another move by the government of the Virgin Islands,
Right.
specifically through the BVI Tourist Board, to really zone in and to really sell the BVI now on a even more larger international market. And we wish this consultancy the very best.
Absolutely, and that European market is definitely a good one for us here in the BVI, and continues to build on the strengths of our tourists coming out of the United States as well. So I'm really happy to see the BVI really stretching its wings. It remains one of the most beautiful places in the world.
No doubt
to
about that.
visit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Viewers, as we move on, the Registrar General, Stephanie Ben, has said that she is convinced that her staff at the Civil Registry and Passport Office will be working together to exceed the expectations of the public following their participation in a leadership through mentoring, training, and team building workshop that was held recently. Now, Mrs. Ben, who is a John Maxwell certified leader, coach, trainer, and speaker, facilitated the workshop, which is the third for this year, and said that she is committed to ongoing development and training for her team. Now, the Registrar General said that she hopes the culture would be the culture of high standards and excellent service would be duplicated throughout the public service so that the territory can serve as a prime example to the rest of the Caribbean. She said, and I quote, "Members of the public rely on the Civil Service Registry and Passport Office to guide them through some of life's most important milestones. Ongoing training and development helps the staff to be more competent, efficient, and caring professionals, the most that they can be while supporting clients, marking those milestones." End of quote. Now, viewers, the Deputy Governor, Mr. David D. Archer Jr., applauded the department's 2021 training initiatives and said such efforts strengthen the entire public service. He said, and I quote, "I commend Mrs. Ben for taking the time and effort to ensure that her team is continually developing and improving. Learning new ways to work together as a team and to better assist the clients we serve is a key component of the ongoing transformation of the public service." End of quote. Now, viewers, the Leadership Through Mentoring Workshop was held on May 23rd. That would have been April 23rd at the Rosewood Little Dix Bay, and covered the topics including growth, courage, confidence, and team building. The registrar also extended thanks to the Deputy Governor and the Permanent Secretary for their continued support of the Registrar General and her team at the Civil Registry and Passport Office. Now, previous training sessions this year included a workshop on human resources and a presentation facilitated by Mrs. Fiona Forbes Vanderpool of the Attorney General's Chambers on the topic natural justice. Ron, I'm always refreshed to hear about initiatives like these that are being held in-house within departments, institutions, companies, organizations that really promotes development. Yes. Even here at CCT, we celebrate a culture of lunch and learn sessions once monthly, which essentially exposes us to lots of life skills, but really essentially lots of development skills that can aid us not only in our personal lives, but also our professional lives. So I just want to say kudos to the team at the Passport Office and continue to wish them all the best.
Well, Jovan, professional development is it's essential. Mm-hmm. It's really important if we're going to grow and get better. And I must commend, when we look at government departments, no doubt, this is a fact. Mm-hmm. The Civil Registry Office, they are perhaps one of the best and brightest, the most organized when it comes to their duties, and I commend the director as well as her staff for continuing to do a very good job. Definitely, when we look at the standard that they've set at that department, we can see that they're training. So absolutely kudos to them. Now, continuing on, viewers, still ahead when we come back from our commercial break, Work in Paradise program to be launched, and the public consultation on legislation is to continue beginning today, actually. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors.
Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production.
Viewers, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Now, closing out on the local scene once more, Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy, said in a statement titled, "Get Ready to Move, Our Economy is Going into Overdrive," that the initiative is one of many which the government of the Virgin Islands plans to introduce to acquire additional streams of revenue to strengthen the economy of the Virgin Islands in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. And that Premier Foy is in explaining the initiative said persons who visit for the Work in Paradise program cannot work for a company that is present in the BVI. The Premier said, and I quote, "During this time, they will not be able to work for any local company or business, but they can perform their foreign-based jobs. Those persons will access hotels, villas, apartments, car rentals, taxis, tour operators, restaurants, and other local services, which will be paid for with their foreign earnings, and that means we will be drawing money from outside of the territory and injecting it into our economy." Now, the program will be managed through the Immigration Department with the assistance of several other agencies, including the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board and their Film Commission, who will assist in the marketing of the territory as the ideal destination for remote working. Now, meanwhile, Minister for Natural Resources, Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, said he is confident that the program will prove to be a sustainable stream of income for the people of the British Virgin Islands. Honorable Wheatley said the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have forced the world to do business in a different way to remain financially stable, and that the British Virgin Islands is by no means an exception. The minister said, and I quote, "The introduction of new revenue streams are needed to propel the BVI into new arenas, thus resulting in more financial flexibility similar to other islands, nations across the Caribbean. The BVI has realized lower tourist arrivals as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and as a result, the introduction of a remote workers program will encourage more arrivals to our shores." Honorable Wheatley explained that the rationale for this collaboration would be to sell the BVI as a destination ideal for work and play from many islands. He said the Department of Labor and Workforce training will be vital in the managing and monitoring of the persons and their employment through inspections and verification of employment related information. Of course, while the Immigration Department will lead on the project and perform the necessary checks needed to encourage the demographic best suited for this destination. Jovan, this work program, Work in Paradise, though it has come under different headings, it is not one that is new to the Caribbean region. During the heat of the global pandemic, we saw the Honorable Mia Motley in Barbados unleash and literally took it by storm. Of course, we see many other countries have already rolled out. We are thankful here in the BVI that the government of the Virgin Islands has seen it fit to now improve this aspect and to bring it, but it is a little bit late, and I do hope that we are able to capitalize on it. What we have to look at is, though, as it pertains to vaccination, as it pertains to the fact that while the COVID-19 pandemic is not done, many countries, regionally and of course internationally, are now seemingly going back to some level of normalcy. So for us to implement this program at this stage, it's a bit late, but we do wish the program the most success.
Absolutely. And Fierce, with that, we are out of time. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. It's always a pleasure. It's the beginning of the week. Have a happy Monday, and we look forward to seeing you all week, bringing you your daily dose. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.